How are you doing, guys? It's Roscoe here at MYP. Today we're talking about stress, okay? The key indicators that you might be suffering from stress, the short-term indicators and the long-term indicators. Now, this is coming off the back of a couple of conversations I've had recently. One with our psychologist, a guy called Graham Conway, who's based down in Australia. He's given me some really interesting insights for how to identify early signs of stress and some long-term signs of stress that people might be displaying. The second conversation I had actually came from a conversation with a client and a potential client who was commenting to me and telling me that they were fed up with people telling them that they were tired, okay, and they looked tired and they looked run down. And actually, once we got into it, we identified that they were tired and they were run down. And I actually went through these points with them to help them identify for themselves that they were maybe starting to become a little bit stressed, and that was having such a negative impact on everything else in their body. So how they were feeling, physically how they were feeling, okay, how they were feeling emotionally, and then the impact on the people around them. So when it comes to identifying stress, there are some key things to look out for. I'm now going to talk to you about some short-term indicators that you might be becoming stressed, okay? So the short-term indicators, guys, these are the things to do with an immediate response, okay? So something's happened around you and you have an increased heart rate. So your heart rate starts to go up and you start to breathe a little bit heavier, okay? Your breath increases in rate, so you start to sort of pant a little bit. That could be a key sign that you're becoming stressed in that exact moment there and then. If you're doing this more frequently, that might be an indicator that you're starting to become stressed, or stress is starting to play a role in your life. You need to also look out for if you're finding yourself sweating more, okay, in situations where you wouldn't usually sweat. If that's the case, that might be another indicator. Cold hands, cold feet and cold skin to touch is another indicator, because what happens is when we start to panic and stress, our blood pulls all our warm blood into the main vital organs. It sort of goes into safety mode and it protects and keeps all these vital organs warm and keeps them with a flesh supply of blood. So the warm blood is pulled from your skin, and that may be a sign that you're getting cold feet and toes and fingers and arms, and that might be a sign that you're getting stressed in that moment there and then. Another one, guys, it's just that sick feeling, you know, that sick to the stomach. It's a bit more than butterflies, but it's a real sick feeling. You maybe think you're going to be sick, but you're starting to get this in situations which wouldn't usually worry you. But now you're having things that make you feel a bit sick in the middle and you're not in a good place about it. That could be another indicator. And the last one, guys, is you constantly find yourself nervously going to the toilet all the time. Going again and again because you feel you need to go or you physically are going to go. That's a body's reaction, okay? That's what happens when we start to get stressed or a little bit anxious about some stuff. That is a key indicator that you might be suffering from some short-term stress. Okay, so if you're having any of those, that might be one of the first indicators to think that maybe I need to change some stuff in my life. Well, now I'm going to talk to you about the long-term indicators, and these are the really interesting ones. I knew about a couple of these, but some of them I had no clue about at all. And this mainly came from this conversation with our psychologist, Graham. And he was saying the biggest thing that shows long-term stress signs is your sleep patterns. So if you want to monitor your sleep patterns, there's a few great apps. I use one called Sleep Cycle, it's a free one, and it monitors your hours of sleep, tells you your quality of sleep, but also tells you how active you are in your sleep through steps. So I know when I've had a really bad night, like last week when I was sick and had a bit of a fever, I was hallucinating, I couldn't sleep, I was tossing and turning. I'd done something like 6,000 steps in my sleep, and my sleep quality was like 33%, it was terrible, okay? So I'll link that app in the email, but sleep pattern is a massive one. So if you find yourself, guys, over a longer period of time, not being able to sleep properly, that might be a sign that you're suffering from some signals and some information that's telling you that you're stressed, okay, you need to change some things in your life. Other ones is appetite. If you're finding you're having no appetite or a varied appetite or a disrupted appetite, that is a long-term indicator that you may be becoming stressed, okay, or something's not quite right in the psychological part of your brain and how your body works, all right? So appetite and sleep, if those patterns start to get messed up, that's an indicator. And the last one, guys, is a thing called volition, and that's really to do with your energy level. So if you're finding yourself lethargic, unable to do stuff, unable to find the energy to do the normal things that we'd usually do, if you're finding this is happening more and more often, that might be a key sign that you're starting to become fatigued, starting to become stressed, okay? So I've given you some short term, I've given you some long term. Now, what are we going to do about it? Now, the key things that you can start to think about, guys, are try and find within your life and within your situation things that you know are stressing you out. So if you know the kids stress you out, okay, maybe you have to look at improving that relationship with your kids. If you know the fact that you're stressed out is because you've not been exercising, let's address that. The great thing about this, guys, it kind of fits in with everything MYP is about. If you can identify one area of your life within one of those dimensions of MYP, you might then be able to identify the reason that you're becoming stressed. So am I stressed because of money? Am I stressed because of my relationship with my wife? Am I stressed because I'm not exercising? Am I stressed because I'm not eating properly? Start to look at these different parts of your life and try to identify them. If you can't find anything there, start to ask people around you, ask people close to you, so people you trust, real close family members, your spouse, partners, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends. They might be able to tell you what they think it is, and take note of it. But the key thing here, guys, is start to write it all down. For me, a big thing when I was starting to show these signs, so sleep patterns disrupted, no appetite, my volition was really low, I started to write stuff down, and journaling was very, very important to me, followed very closely by meditation. So I'll link some videos to my morning routines, and that will show you and break down what I do in my morning routines, and that talks about meditation and journaling and how to do it. But for me, that was some of the key things that I did to improve my state. But today, guys, it's all about identifying those areas. If you're identifying these things and you want to work on them, send me a text, send me an email, send me a little message, and I will get straight back to you, and I'll put you in contact on our plans, on our psychological well-being plans, and we'll see what we can do to help you straight away get a grip of what's going on in your life. Because as soon as you've got a grip of what you're doing, you'll then be of greater service to the people around you. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. I'm looking forward to speaking to you tomorrow. Have a great day, MYP.